Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. My name is Jesse Mayfield Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Barrelson Field at Milton Academy in Milton, Massachusetts. Here to bring you some Independent School League high school girls lacrosse between the hosting Milton Academy Mustangs and the visiting Tabor Academy Seawolves. The Mustangs of Milton Academy coming into this game with a 6-2 record. They suffered a loss yesterday at Thayer Academy, 14-12. That snapped a 4-game winning streak they had been on. It's been a season of mostly ups for the Mustangs thus far. They opened with back-to-back wins against Brooks. First at home by a score of 17-5, and then on the road by a score of 14-6 on the weekend of April's 23rd and 24th. They suffered a loss on the road to Windsor on April 30th, 10-7. Their May 1st game against Middlesex was canceled. And then after that, back-to-back weekends with back-to-back wins. First on May 7th, they hosted BBNN and got a handy win 18-6. The next day on May 8th, they traveled out to BBNN and won 16-6. The following weekend, they this being last weekend, of course, they played at Rivers last Friday and won 15-7, and then followed it up with a home game against Rivers, which I had the privilege of covering last week, and some of you might have had the good fortune of watching, as it was quite the thrilling comeback by the Mustangs. They went into the fourth quarter trailing 12-9 and then outscored the Red Wings by a score of 5-1 in that final frame to get the win 14-13. And then, of course, yesterday the loss on the road to Thayer puts them at 6-2. Little less than 8.5 minutes left on the pregame clock. And so quickly, let's take a look at our two teams' rosters. We're going to start off with the home team, the Milton Academy Mustangs. First, a sophomore attacker from Mattapoisett, Massachusetts, number 1, Ava Russell. Next, a junior midfielder from Narragansett, Rhode Island, number 2, Sarah Maciel. A senior attacker from Hingham, Massachusetts, number 3, Eliza Dunn. A freshman midfielder from Hingham, Massachusetts, number 4, Emily Baldwin. A junior defender from Duxbury, Massachusetts, number 5, Zoe Garrett. A junior defender from Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts, number 6, Haley Englert. A junior midfielder from Milton, Massachusetts, number 7, Jane Feeney. A junior attacker from Milton, Massachusetts, number 8, Grace Paneris. A junior defender from Hingham, Massachusetts, number 9, Caroline Baldwin. A senior attacker from Hingham, Massachusetts, number 10, Eleanor Murphy. A sophomore midfielder from Milton, Massachusetts, number 13, Audrey Howley. A freshman midfielder from Winchester, Massachusetts, number 14, Caroline Curtis. A sophomore goalie from Westwood, Massachusetts, number 15, Sydney Iwaskow. A sophomore defender from Dorchester, Massachusetts, number 16, Corey Miller. A freshman attacker from Dedham, Massachusetts, number 17, Emily Coonahan. A freshman midfielder from Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, number 18, Daphne Carlin. A senior midfielder from Milton, Massachusetts, number 19, Catherine Fernandopol. A senior midfielder from Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, number 22, Josephine Vogel. A junior defender from Wayland, Massachusetts, number 23, Lily Stoller. A senior attacker from Milton, Massachusetts, number 24, Thea Chung. A senior midfielder from Milton, Massachusetts, number 26, Eleanor Rain. A junior attacker from Hingham, Massachusetts, number 27, Anna Cressman. A freshman midfielder from Boston, Massachusetts, number 28, Jordan Stucken. A sophomore defender from Hingham, Massachusetts, number 29, Julia Torrey. And then last on the roster I've got with me here, a sophomore goalie from Cranston, Rhode Island, number 32, Kaylee Brousseau. That is your roster for the Milton Academy Mustangs. And now we look at the visiting team with a little less than 5 minutes left in our pregame clock. We take a look at the visiting Tabor Seawolves. A junior from Mashpee, Massachusetts, number 1, Ava Jadul. A senior from Marion, Massachusetts, number 2, Catherine Marvel. A senior from Warwick, Rhode Island, number 3, Allison Paliota. A junior from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, number 4, Dylan Odoardi. A senior from St. John's, and I'm not quite sure what NL stands for. I'll see if I can figure that out. Either way, a senior, number 6, Abigail Newhook. A freshman from South Hamilton, Massachusetts, number 7, Sadie Stiles. A freshman from Lexington, Massachusetts, number 8, Emma Hu. A junior from Marblehead, Massachusetts, number 9, Chloe Trudell. A freshman from Swampscott, Massachusetts, number 10, Maggie O'Gannon. A senior from Marion, Massachusetts, number 11, Sydney Da Silva. A senior from Rochester, Massachusetts, number 12, Caroline Donnelly. A senior from Marion, Massachusetts, number 13, Paige Feeney. A junior from Norwell, Massachusetts, number 14, Allison Hoyt. A sophomore from Marblehead, Massachusetts, number 16, Juliet Pearsall. A sophomore from South Dartmouth, Massachusetts, number 17, June Resendez. A junior from Stratham, New Hampshire, number 18, Lily Glantz. A junior from Needham, Massachusetts, number 19, Sarah Blake. A sophomore from Marion, Massachusetts, number 21, Paige Long. A sophomore from East Sandwich, Massachusetts, number 22, Madeline Ocampo. A senior from Centerville, Massachusetts, number 24, Rachel Dwyer. A senior from Kingston, Massachusetts, number 26, Skylar Irving. And lastly, a senior from Rochester, Massachusetts, number 30, Julia Rude. That is your roster for the visiting Tabor Seawolves. We've now given both teams rosters. Of course, the Milton Academy girls lacrosse team is coached by Molly Swain, Jordy Dunnington, Bailey Grant, and Molly Cox, while the Seawolves are coached by Stacy Turner and Allie Madison. We are just about ready to get underway here at Barrelson Field in Milton, Massachusetts. Once again, my name is Jesse Mayfield Sheehan, and on behalf of Milton Academy, I am proud to bring you live coverage of this high school girls lacrosse game. Less than a minute left on the pregame clock as the officials test out the pockets, make sure everything's all legal and everything. You can see Milton huddling up around their head coach, Molly Swain, in the blue jerseys with orange jersey numbers and white outlines. While over here, you can vaguely see the Tabor Seawolves huddling around their coach in the white jerseys with red numbers and black outlines. A hot and humid day here in Milton, Massachusetts, as we get ready to kick this girls' lacrosse game underway. Once again, Milton Academy coming into this game with a solid 6-2 record. They just had their 4-game win streak snapped by Thayer Academy yesterday with a tough 14-12 loss. But they've been riding high for most of this season. And so the Seawolves first to take the field. As they send their players out. It looks like their starting netminder is going to be number 26, the senior Skylar Irving. And you can hear the Milton Mustangs cheering, getting ready to take the field. And now, here come the Mustangs. Mustangs will be playing from my left here in the first of 4 periods, while Tabor will be playing from my right. Starting in net for Milton Academy will be number 31, which I believe is actually Sydney Iwaskow. The roster I was given had her as number 15, but I'm pretty sure that's a mistake, because I think I ran into this exact same problem the last time I covered this team. Two teams getting ready to take their opening draw. It looks like we're about ready to get underway. It is number 22, Josephine Vogel, taking the draw for Milton. And here we go, we're underway. Loose ball being chased down, scooped up by Vogel. Milton will get the first possession of the day. Vogel running around, sends a pass ahead. It's juggled but recovered by number 9, Caroline Baldwin. Baldwin takes it into the attack zone. Moving along her right side, floats a pass over to number 27, Anna Cressman, who now sends it up top to number 7, Jane Feeney. Feeney operating out of the point, surveying her options. Flips it over to number 3, Eliza Dunn. Eliza Dunn sends it behind the net. Now a give-and-go attempt for Feeney. Just missed, too much traffic. Loose ball scooped up by Vogel. Nice job keeping the possession Milton's way by Josephine Vogel. And she now starts to attack, trying to fake out her defender, runs out of room, passes it over to Catherine Fernandopol. She charges in, weaving through, takes the shot, and that's the first goal of the game. Catherine Fernandopol, the local product and senior midfielder. She was the hero of that comeback win over Rivers, scoring several late goals, including the equalizer and the go-ahead. And today, she is first on the board. 1-0 now the score, following the goal by Catherine Fernandopol off the assist from Josephine Vogel. And it'll be Vogel returning to the draw circle, taking on Tabor's number 18, Lily Glantz. There's the whistle and the draw is off, but looks like they're going to call an infraction. Usually when the ball doesn't get enough air under it, you can tell that someone jumped early or something happened, because it's designed for it to go high up into the air, almost like a jump ball in basketball. Like that one, for example. Vogel had it for a second, but it was knocked away. She's chasing it down, and she's got it again. 2 for 2 on the draw controls for Vogel as she passes it ahead to Feeney. Jane Feeney running into the attack zone, fakes the pass, surveys, passes it up to Fernando Pol. Fernando Pol swings it over to Vogel. Vogel looking around, starting to charge, moving in, still moving in, takes the shot and misses. No, she doesn't miss. That one's in. I thought she missed it wide, but she just tucked it into the corner. A nicely placed shot by Josephine Vogel. She not only faked out the goalie, she also quite convincingly faked out me. So a quick 2-0 lead here in the first 2 minutes of play by the hosting Milton Academy Mustangs. 1 goal by Catherine Fernandopol and 1 by Josephine Vogel. A nice effort from the 2 senior midfielders to start this off. And it'll be Vogel and Glantz taking the draw once again. Draw is taken up in the air. It's a jump ball for it, and it's scooped up by who else but Vogel. She's scooped up every draw thus far, and she passes it ahead to Dunn. Eliza Dunn now running with it. The pass misses wide from her target, and now it's a loose ball being chased down and scooped up by Anna Cressman. Cressman flips it over to number 17, Emily Coonahan. Quick pass to Fernandopol. Fernandopol surveying. Decides to float a pass over to Vogel. Vogel sends it behind the net. Passed along. This is Coonahan. Coonahan operating out of the back. Sends a long pass out to Dunn. Dunn running towards the center. Swings it over to Cressman. Cressman sends it over to the corner. I believe that is number 10, Eleanor Murphy. Murphy running around the back. Swings it over to Dunn. Dunn running around, passes it over to Cressman. Cressman thought about charging but decided against it. Flips it over to Vogel. Vogel starting to make her move, charging in, taking the shot, well defended, and it goes out the back. A nice deflection from Tabor's number 14, Allison Hoyt. And in fact, they didn't have the back well enough covered, so the turnover is going to go to Tabor. First offensive possession of the day for the Seawolves. And this is number 7, Sadie Stiles with the ball. Stiles looking around, sends a pass ahead, finds number 16, Juliet Pearsall. Pearsall running with it, gets into the attack zone, floats a pass ahead. It's knocked down, but then picked up by number 8. Running around the back. A quick pass to 22, and that's in. Madeline Ocampo off the assist from Emma Hu. It was a nice deflection off the floating pass near the box by number 18, Daphne Carlin of Milton, but well recovered, heads up, loose ball work by Emma Hu, who then came around the back and found Madeline Ocampo. 2-1 now the score. Milton Academy still leads early here in the first period. 9 minutes, 11 seconds still left in the period as we head back to the draw circle. It is Vogel against Glantz once again. Vogel has won every draw thus far, and it doesn't look like they're going to win this one, or will they? It's a bit of a scrum for it, and we've got a whistle, and they're going to give it to Jane Feeney. So Milton controls the possession again. Feeney charging in quick, weaving through, shot well defended by the goalie, and that loose ball is going to be chased down by Coonahan. Pass over to Cressman, now up top to Fernandopol. Fernandopol surveying, thinking about it, looking around, looking for her options. Decides to send a pass over to the corner to, I believe, Murphy. That is Eleanor Murphy. Coming around the back, trying to sneak one in, and just gets past the goalie and across the line. The goal by Eleanor Murphy just squeaked past the legs of the Tabor goalie, Skylar Irving, who had a nice save against Jane Feeney earlier in the possession. 3-1 the score. The clock is not moving on the scoreboard, so I don't know how much time is left, but I'd like to believe the officials know at least, as it was 9 minutes, 11 seconds at the last draw, and it still remains in that spot. We've got 2 new draw takers now. For Tabor, it's number 16, Juliet Pearsall. And for Milton Academy, I think I saw number 7, Jane Feeney. And indeed, it was Feeney, but it's popped up and caught easily by Fernando Pole. So Milton controlling the draw once again. Every single draw thus far, they've been perfect. The pass over to Cunahan, sent back up to Fernando Pole, and now up top to Jane Feeney. Feeney starts her approach, charges in, she's got a lane, and she's got the score! Jane Feeney was denied last time she charged towards the net, but she would not be denied again. The 4th different goal scorer for Milton Academy already in this game. They've had a goal each from Catherine Fernandopol, Josephine Vogel, Eleanor Murphy, and now Jane Feeney. So 3 seniors and a junior, the upperclassmen taking care of work here. The clock reads 8:45. And it seems like we're just going to have to stick with that, even though there was definitely a period of time where the clock was frozen. But that's all right. I believe it'll be Feeney and Pearsall back for the draw once again. 4-1, Milton Academy leads Tabor Academy. There's the whistle up in the air, and it's deflected and then scooped up by Fernando Pole. Into the attack zone she goes. Surveying, quick pass, the quick shot, and the quick score. That is number 14, Caroline Curtis. A nice find by Catherine Fernandopol on the pass. And then a nice finish by the freshman midfielder from Winchester, Massachusetts, Caroline Curtis. Milton Academy with 5 goals already from 5 different goal scorers. And on the clock, that took 7 seconds. It was 8:45 on the clock when last we went to the draw circle, and now it's 8:38. Milton Academy scoring at will here early. Josephine Vogel returns to take the draw, and we got an infraction here. So we'll get a restart. It'll be Vogel against Pearsall, a matchup we haven't seen yet, the 3rd different draw matchup we've seen thus far in the first period. Whistle again. It's popped up short. Bit of a scrum for the ball, and they're going to blow the whistle and give it to Milton Academy. So Vogel starts with the ball after another successful draw. Into the attack zone she goes, fakes the pass and keeps running. Surveying, moving towards the corner, now moving around back. Flips a pass over to Eliza Dunn. Now out to Eleanor Murphy. Murphy over to Cressman. Cressman swings it over but misses her target, and that's going to be lost out of bounds. Pass was intended for Eleanor Rain, but just missed the target there. One of just 2 turnovers thus far for the Milton Academy offense. They've been operating very efficiently. But now Tabor will get the chance. They've scored so far in the only offensive possession they've had, but now they're just trying to clear it out. Very aggressive defense from Milton Academy. The pass goes over to number 12, Caroline Donnelly, who's now running with it, trying to weave her way through traffic. Across midfield, into the attack zone. She's got some room to work, finally gets swarmed, flips a pass, looking for a wide-open teammate, just missed the mark. That was number 22, Madeline Ocampo, who has Tabor's lone goal so far. Now she's scooped up and is running with it, trying to make her approach. And now she just surveys the field. Sends the pass back to number 21, now up top to number 8, that's Emma Hu. Now over to 16, Pearsall. Now over to number 7, Sadie Stiles. Stiles moves it around back, passes it over to number 12, Donnelly. Caroline Donnelly trying to spin around her defender. Still looking. Flips a pass looking for Pearsall. It's loose. This one might roll towards the line. And it's poked away, and it's scooped up by Cunahan, who then has it knocked out of her pocket, but they blow the whistle. And they give it back to Cunahan. Emily Cunahan brings it across midfield and into the attack zone. Good chance to score here. A long pass over to Dunn goes over her head, and this one might be turned over. And indeed it will. So a couple sloppy turnovers by both teams back and forth now. And Tabor takes over the possession. The pass goes back to the goalie, Irving. Now passed ahead to number 3, Allison Paliota. Now the pass is intercepted by Cressman. Cressman's going to take off. She's going to streak right towards the goal, but it has it knocked away from behind. Great defense by number 7, Sadie Stiles. And the ball is recovered by Skylar Irving. Passed over to number 24. Now another pass is intercepted. This one is Eleanor Murphy. She's going to take her shot at it, and it's going to be denied by Irving. The rebound controlled by Murphy, who sends a long pass to Dunn, and her shot is saved, but we've got a whistle. Great efforts by the Tabor defense, following some really bad turnovers off the attempted clear, but now we're going to get it out of the free position for Eliza Dunn. Our first free position chance of the day. Dunn approaches. Shot goes high and out of bounds, but possession remains in control of Milton Academy. Again, great defense by the Seawolves. Milton Academy has had several great looks at the net, but nothing doing thus far. Cunahan charging in, and she finishes. After all that, it still winds up with a goal for the Mustangs. A valiant stand by the Tabor defense after multiple sloppy turnovers in their own end, but ultimately it is finished by the freshman attacker from Dedham, Massachusetts, Emily Cunahan. 6 goals, 6 different goal scorers for Milton Academy as they extend their lead over the Tabor Seawolves to 6-1. 4:42 left here in the first period. Milton Academy cruising thus far. It'll be Jane Feeney against Lily Glantz, our 4th different draw matchup thus far today. This one goes up in the air, and this one's going to bounce towards the Tabor end, and it's scooped up by Fernandopol. Catherine Fernandopol's got 1 goal already. She floats a pass looking for Feeney. Feeney charges and has it well deflected towards the end. And they're going to give that possession back to Tabor. A nice chase by Skylar Irving to get to the back line first and take back the possession. Tabor showing some great defense around the box these past couple of possessions as they now work to clear it. This is Glantz working around, weaving her way through, passes it over to Donley. Donley trying to force her way through, gets double teamed, passes over to Glantz. Glantz throws it ahead to Pearsall. Pearsall being defended by Fernandopol. She flips it over to Emma Hu, aiming for Pearsall on the give and go, but misses. Loose ball, and it's going to be scooped up by Jane Feeney. Feeney throws it ahead for Cunahan. Cunahan, the most recent goal scorer. She's pushing her way into the attack zone, operating along the right side. Cunahan has the ball knocked away from her, but she recovers it, and now flips a pass over to Anna Cressman. Cressman sends it up top to Feeney. Feeney floats a pass over to Dunn. Dunn trying to weave her way through. Runs out of room and has to flip it back to Feeney. Feeney surveying her options. Patiently waiting. Now she's charging, trying to weave her way through, forces her way in and scores! Second goal of the day for Jane Feeney, our first multi-goal scorer of the day. Feeney's had a couple good chances denied by some good defense from Tabor, but not this time. Second goal for the junior midfielder from Milton. 7-1 now the score. 2:57 left here in the first period. Draw being taken, a jump ball, and it's scooped up by the new draw taker for Tabor. That is number 14, Allison Hoyt. Hoyt running into the attack zone, attacking it herself, and she scores! Allison Hoyt does it all by herself, wins the draw against Feeney, and then just sprints down and launches a shot past Iwaskow. And just like that, the score is now 7-2. Milton Academy still with a comfortable lead, but Tabor now has its second goal of the game. Hoyt returns to the draw circle against Feeney, a bit of a rematch now. Tabor has had 3 different draw takers so far today. Lily Glantz, Juliet Pearsall, and now Allison Hoyt. For Milton Academy, they've only had 2, Josephine Vogel and Jane Feeney. Up in the air it goes. It's heading towards the Milton end, but scooped up rather quickly by number 28, Jordan Stukin. Stukin passes it ahead for Murphy. Murphy trying to weave her way around, heading towards the net, runs out of room and comes around back. Looking for a pass, and she has to send it out to Fernandopol. Fernandopol starting to charge in, looking for it, and sends it over the net. But the possession stays with Milton Academy. This is number 8, Grace Panarese with the ball now. Coming out from the back, looking around, passes it over to Cressman. Cressman sends it up top to Fernandopol. Fernandopol over to Dunn. Dunn charging in, runs out of room, and has the ball knocked away, but she might have drawn another penalty. She was double-teamed there, but Tabor just got a little too physical. Eliza Dunn now with her second free position chance of the day. She wasn't able to score the last time. We'll see what she does this time. She approaches, takes the shot, and this time will not be denied. Eliza Dunn, her first goal of the day out of the free position. Eight goals, 7 different goal scorers for Milton Academy. They've got 2 goals from Jane Feeney and 1 each from Eliza Dunn, Eleanor Murphy, Caroline Curtis, Emily Coonahan, Catherine Fernandopol, and Josephine Vogel. And it looks like Lily Glantz will return to the draw circle for Tabor, taking on Vogel once again. This one skips towards the Tabor end. It's a bit of a loose ball, still being fought for and ultimately recovered by Stiles, but her pass is immediately intercepted by Vogel. Vogel is going to charge in herself, weave her way through, and score! No goal, actually. They say no goal. I'm not entirely sure why they're waving it off, but Tabor trying to make the fast work of this clear. This is Ocampo running with it into the attack zone. She's one of the 2 goal scorers for Tabor thus far, trying to fight her way through the defense. Shoots from a weird angle, and it's easily deflected by the Milton Academy defense. Great effort there by number 9, Caroline Baldwin. Possession stays with Tabor. Operating out of the back, they start passing it around. Send it up to Emma Hu. 40 seconds left in the period, now over to Glantz. Lily Glantz looking around. Flips it over to Juliet Pearsall. Pearsall tries a pass inside, taken away by number 23, Lily Stoller. Stoller now running with it, trying to get something going. 20 seconds left in the period. Stoller still running with it. Into the attack zone she goes. Looking around, passes it to Murphy. Murphy sends a pass ahead to Cressman. Cressman takes a long shot, misses wide. 7 seconds left. I don't think there's going to be another shot chance, especially since they gave that ball back to Tabor. This is going to end the first period, and there's the horn. So after one of 4 periods here at Barrelson Field in Milton, Massachusetts, the score, the Milton Academy Mustangs 8, the Tabor Academy Seawolves 2. I am Jesse Mayfield Sheehan, live on behalf of Milton Academy, and I will be back with the second period of this game after a short mute break. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Barrelson Field at Milton Academy in Milton, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield Sheehan and I'm here to bring you the second period of this Independent School League high school girls lacrosse game between the hosting Milton Academy Mustangs and the visiting Tabor Academy Seawolves. Through one period, Milton Academy has a comfortable 8-2 lead. They had 2 goals apiece from Jane Feeney and Josephine Vogel, and then they had 1 goal each from Eliza Dunn and Eleanor Murphy and Caroline Curtis. No, actually, I don't think Murphy has scored yet. I don't think. It has been Eliza Dunn, Caroline Curtis, Emily Cunahan, and Catherine Fernandopol were the other 4 goal scorers. Pretty sure I've got that count right. Tabor, much easier to keep track of. They've had 2 goals so far, one by Madeline Ocampo and one by Allison Hoyt. 12 minutes and 30 seconds back on the clock for the start of this second period. And it looks like it'll be Vogel against Lily Glantz here in the draw circle once again to start things off. Excuse me. Up in the air it goes, and it is chased down by Milton Academy. That is number 26, Eleanor Rain. She flips the pass back to Vogel, who makes the approach into the attack zone. Pass flipped over to Dunn, back to Vogel. She's going to go for it, and she's going to get it. The hat trick completed for Josephine Vogel. The senior midi from Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, has 3 goals already today. And Milton has a 9-2 lead. It'll be Vogel versus Glantz in the draw circle once again. 19 seconds into the period, and we've already got our first score. Up in the air it goes, and this time it's going to be won by Glantz. Glantz weaving her way through into the attack zone. Looking around, surveying her options. Pass it towards the center to Pearsall. Pearsall does a give and go, and now Pearsall is going to attack it. Well defended from behind, and we got a loose ball. Loose ball being scrummed for, and ultimately picked up by Pearsall. Pearsall flips it over to Who. Who gives it back to Pearsall. Pearsall loses control of the ball, but chases it down and keeps control. Now being swarmed by the defense, she has to send a retreating pass back to Donley. Now over to Glantz. Glantz bringing it back into the attack zone, being chased by Rain, and she's going to draw the penalty. Some nice defense on that approach by number 6, Haley Englert, to knock the ball away from Pearsall, who now resets the play out of the free position. She passes it over to Glantz. Glantz now trying to send it inside. It's deflected. Being scrummed for again. It's being won again by Pearsall. Pearsall trying to make her approach, and she skips it in for the goal. Several players vying for that ball after it was knocked down by Caroline Baldwin. But Pearsall picks up the loose ball again, and this time fights her way through several opponents to get her first goal and Tabor's third of the day. 9-3 the score. Once again, I am Jesse Mayfield Sheehan on behalf of Milton Academy, bringing you live coverage of this girls lacrosse game. If you want to stay up to date on our upcoming broadcasts, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you like what we're doing here, let us know and drop a like on the video. Draw control taken. After a bounce, it's picked up by Catherine Fernandopol. Fernandopol into the attack zone for Milton. Sends it over to the corner. Juggled but recovered by Grace Panaris. Panery sends it behind, but it's intercepted. That's the goalie, Skylar Irving, aggressively coming out of the net to intercept that pass. Now on the clear attempt, she passes it ahead to Sadie Stiles. Stiles working against Dunn and Murphy. Flips a long pass over to Ava Russell. Russell dashing across midfield and into the attack zone. Now looking for it, a pass ahead intended for Hoyt, but goes over her head and out of bounds. That's going to give the ball back to Milton Academy. Taking the ball now is Caroline Baldwin, but I think she stepped a foot out of bounds. And so the turnover in their own end gives the ball to Tabor. Taking the ball from out of bounds is Madeline Ocampo. Ocampo flips it over to Lily Glantz. Now a pass inside for Hoyt. Hoyt takes the shot, saved by Iwaskow. Now the pass flipped over to Lily Stoller. She's juggling it. She scoops it up, avoids disaster right in front of her own net, and passes it away. She finds number 13, Audrey Howley. Howley flips it ahead to Cressman. Anna Cressman looking around, decides to pass it over to Murphy. Eleanor Murphy sends it ahead, misses Jane Feeney, but it's recovered by Grace Paneris. Paneris charging in, runs into traffic, and now looking around. Passes it back to Howley. Audrey Howley looking around, starts to charge in but loses the ball and has to pick it back up. She sends a rough pass to Eliza Dunn, who has it knocked away, and it's taken away by Sadie Stiles. Stiles now running in transition, bringing it into the attack zone. Looking around, flips it over to Hoyt. Hoyt flips it back to Stiles. Stiles misses the shot high. Possession will not stay with Tabor. It'll be taken by Milton Academy. This is Sydney Iwaskow sending a pass over her teammate's head on the first pass of the clear attempt, and they immediately lose the ball. Pass goes to Allison Hoyt. She charges in and moves around back. Coming out of the back, she runs into Lily Stoller, who keeps her at bay. She sends the pass outside to Pearsall. Now over to who? Now over to number 21, Paige Long. And now a charge in and a shot by Pearsall is saved by Iwaskow, but she'll draw the whistle. Juliet Pearsall has 1 goal already today, and she'll be operating out of the free position. Charges in, takes the shot, misses off the post. Chasing after her own rebound, and they're scrumming for it. We'll see who picks it up. Few players in the pile there, and it looks like it's picked up by Milton Academy. Scooped up by number 6, Englert, and flipped over to Stoller. Stoller sends a contested pass over to Caroline Baldwin. Baldwin throws it ahead, finds Cressman. Cressman now making the attack, moving towards the center. The ball is knocked away, but recovered by Eliza Dunn. Dunn now flips the pass over to Murphy. Murphy now slowing things down and sending it up top to Fernandopol. Catherine Fernandopol charging in, running into traffic, and she has to retreat. Fernandopol sends it over to Dunn. Dunn sends it behind the net to Murphy. Murphy looking for a pass, contested, deflected away. The loose ball picked up for a second, but then recovered by Cressman. It seemed like Allison Paliota had it for a second, but now it stays with Milton Academy. Eliza Dunn making her approach, runs into the defense and has to pass it back out. This is number 13, Howley, who now passes it back to Fernandopol, over to Cressman, and now over to Feeney. Feeney sends it to the corner to Grace Paneris. Paneris flips it across behind the net, over to Dunn. Dunn running around, passes it out to Feeney. Feeney charges in, runs into traffic, flips it over to Dunn. Dunn with the shot, and she scores! Heads up passing back and forth by Eliza Dunn and Jane Feeney, And Jane Feeney gets the assist on that one as Eliza Dunn buries her second goal of the day. 10-3 now the score, and we've got some fresh subs checking in for Milton Academy. That looks like number 1, Ava Russell, number 17, Emily Cunahan, and number 24, Thea Chung. But that's going to have to wait because it seems we have a timeout on the field. .550 even left on the clock here in the second period. The score, Milton Academy 10, Tabor Academy 3. Tabor Academy's 3 goals thus far have come from Madeline Ocampo, Allison Hoyt, and Juliet Pearsall. Milton Academy's got 3 goals from Josephine Vogel and 2 each from Eliza Dunn and Jane Feeney. And then 1 goal each from Caroline Curtis, Emily Cunahan, and Catherine Fernandopol. An explosive outing thus far for Milton Academy, already in double figures before halftime. Their highest goal total of the season to date is 18, as they secured an 18-6 win over BB&N at home a couple weeks ago on May 7th. Milton Academy has reached double figures in every game except 1 so far this season, including today. So 8 out of 9 games, they've gone up to double figures in goals, the lone exception being their 10-7 loss to Windsor on the road back on April 30th. So Milton Academy showing their offensive prowess, and we'll see what they end up doing defensively. Their best defensive effort thus far was when they only allowed 5 goals in their season-opening 17-5 win at home against Brooks on April 23rd. And 3 times they've held a team to just 6 goals and once to just 7. So they've only given up double-figure scores in 3 of their 8 games thus far. We'll see what they do defensively here, as well as offensively. Milton Academy has done a very good job in all phases, but mainly just in the possession game, just keeping the ball away from the Seawolves for much of the early portions of the game, thanks to some dominant draw play by Josephine Vogel and Jane Feeney. Speaking of, Vogel returns to the draw circle to take on Lily Glantz. 5 minutes, 50 seconds left in the second period. 10-3 the score in favor of Milton. Draw is taken. It's short, but it's a bit of a scrum for it. It's being chased around, and it's ultimately taken by Tabor. Pass ahead goes to number 21. She runs along the left side and then sends the pass up top to Glantz. Swings it over. More passes around. This one's to Emma Hu. Now over to number 17. The attempted pass for 6 misses. Ball's knocked free again, and number 17 picks it up again. That's June Resendez. Resendez, of course, the one who recovered that scrum for the draw earlier this possession. Looking around, her pass is well deflected and easily recovered by Haley Englert. Well defended by Lily Stoller. Englert running with it, draws the penalty. And now she passes it ahead to Vogel. Vogel brings it into the attack zone for Milton Academy. And now passes it over to Dunn. Dunn over to number 24, Thea Chung. Chung surveys, passes it over to Ava Russell. Russell starts charging, hits traffic, and works around the back. She flips it over to Cunahan. Cunahan sends it out to Chung. Chung sends it out to Eliza Dunn. Dunn's got 2 goals already. She's going to try for the hat trick, and she's going to get it! Eliza Dunn making it look easy. The second player with a hat trick so far today. Josephine Vogel and Eliza Dunn, each with 3 goals to lead the way for Milton Academy. It looks like Jane Feeney will check in for Vogel to take the draw, and they'll also send in Catherine Fernandopol and number 28, Jordan Stukin. They replace what appears to be Eleanor Rain and Caroline Curtis. So it'll be Feeney against Glantz in the draw circle now. Feeney with 2 goals of her own so far today. (11-3) is the score. The loose ball being scrummed for. Couldn't be scooped up cleanly by Stukin. And now they're still battling for it. And finally it's scooped up, and now it's lost again. Nobody wants this ball. Or maybe too many people want the ball. It's picked up by Stoller. Stoller passes it ahead to Feeney. Feeney weaving her way through. The ball could not be held by Paige Long on Tabor's side. So now Milton Academy on the attack. Eliza Dunn, can she get number 4? No! Saved by the Tabor goalie, who appears to be a new goalie, Julia Rude. But the pass is quickly intercepted, and now it's Cunahan with the ball. Cunahan runs into traffic and has to pass it out to Thea Chung. Chung has it. Thea Chung has it taken away from behind by Lily Glantz, passed ahead to Juliet Pearsall. Pearsall running with it. She loses the ball, but recovers it. Now being pursued by the defense, sends a long pass that's juggled and taken away. This is Haley Englert. Englert passes it ahead to Thea Chung. Chung has it knocked away by a Tabor defender. She can't cleanly recover it, and this one is going to be, is it going to be taken away? It is going to be taken away. This is number 1, Ava Jadul. Jadul running with it, still running with it, takes the shot, and she scores! Ava Jadul, the 4th goal for Tabor Academy, taking advantage of the turnover by Milton Academy. 2 minutes, 24 seconds left in the half here. Milton Academy leads Tabor Academy 11-4. So it'll be Feeney against Pearsall in the draw circle here. Draw now being taken, and it's won by Feeney. Feeney now running it into the attack zone. Slowly surveying her options, she passes it out to Dunn. Dunn has already got 3 goals on the day, and she's starting her approach, but she hits traffic. Flips it over to not Thea Chung. That appears to be number 28, Jordan Stukin. Stukin flips it over to Fernandopol. Fernandopol charging in, looking for her second goal, but it's turned away. Loose ball recovered by Cunahan. Cunahan passing inside, pass is knocked away, and it's going to be recovered by Sadie Stiles. Stiles passes it back to Rude, and now back to Stiles. Tabor working on the clear attempt. The pass ahead to Donley. Caroline Donley sends it back to Stiles. Styles looking around and passes it back to Rude. Rude sends it ahead to number 24, Rachel Dwyer. Dwyer running against Dunn. Cunahan coming over to help. They can't seem to find any openings as it's passed back to Donley and now swung over to Styles. Milton Academy bringing the pressure with their first line of defense. But now this is number 13 running around and getting along the far sideline. That is Paige Feeney. Paige Feeney bringing the ball into the attack zone now after the whistle. She floats it up for Pearsall, but it's contested. It's recovered by Ocampo. Ocampo starting to approach, runs out of room, passes it back to Hoyt. Hoyt moving into the corner. She passes it out to Jadul. Jadul swings it over to number 10. Ball is loose, recovered by Jadul. Jadul flips it over to Hoyt. Hoyt sends it back in, looking for Pearsall, but too much traffic, and we got a loose ball now. Both teams struggling to pick it up. Pearsall picks it up, sends her shot high over the net. Well covered by Iwaskow, and Milton Academy will take over. Just 18.1 seconds left here in the second period, and it looks like Milton Academy might just hold it for these last seconds. They're not trying to make any kind of approach. Iwaskow just holding onto the ball. 5 seconds left, and it looks like we're going to go into the half with this score. She launches one last long pass that is juggled, and no one can scoop it up before the horn sounds. We are halfway through this game here at Barrelson Field at Milton Academy in Milton, Massachusetts. The score, the Milton Academy Mustangs 11 and the Tabor Academy Seawolves 4. The home team Mustangs led by 3 goals apiece from Josephine Vogel and Eliza Dunn. 2 goals also scored by Jane Feeney. And then a goal each scored by Caroline Curtis, Emily Cunahan, and Catherine Fernandopol. On the flip side, for Tabor Academy, their goals scored by Madeline Ocampo, Allison Hoyt, Juliet Pearsall, and Ava Jadul. That sums up the scoring, and as you can see on the scoreboard, we got a little over 4 minutes left here in halftime. I am Jesse Mayfield Sheehan on behalf of Milton Academy, bringing you live coverage of this Independent School League High School Girls Lacrosse Contest. If you want to stay up to date with our upcoming videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you like what we're doing here and you want to show us how much you like it, be sure to hit that like button on the video as well. But for now, I'm going to take a short mute break, and I'll be back with the third period of play, so stay tuned. And I'm back here at Barrelson Field at Milton Academy in Milton, Massachusetts. My name is Jesse Mayfield Sheehan, bringing you live coverage of this Independent School League High School Girls Lacrosse contest between the hosting Milton Academy Mustangs and the visiting Tabor Academy Seawolves. As you can see by the scoreboard, we got about 30 seconds left before we resume action here for the third quarter. Halfway through the game, Milton has a pretty substantial lead, 11-4. They outscored Tabor 8-2 in the first period, but then only had a 3-2 edge in the second period as they took their foot off the gas just a little bit. We'll see how they follow things up in the third period. So you heard the horn there. We are getting things started. And starting things off, we have a goalie substitution for Milton Academy. That is number 32, Kaylee Brousseau, as it seems like they operate in a bit of a rotation between Brousseau and fellow netminder Sydney Iwaskow. Iwaskow played the first half, allowing 4 goals. So we'll see what Brousseau does. Last time I covered this team, Brousseau had some excellent saves late in that comeback win over Rivers. But Milton Academy not in need of a comeback right now, as they've got a comfortable lead of 11-4. Josephine Vogel, 3 goals and a number of draw controls already today. And she heads back to the circle to take on Lily Glantz. A fresh 12 minutes and 30 seconds put back on the clock for the third period here at Barrelson Field at Milton Academy in Milton, Massachusetts. Vogel versus Glantz on the draw. The whistle, and we are underway here in the second half. Ball is knocked down and then scooped up by Vogel. Vogel gets the first draw control of this half as well, and she passes it ahead to Dunn. Eliza Dunn also with 3 goals already today. She passes it back out to Vogel. Vogel looking around, sends it back to Dunn. Dunn running around the back, swings it over to Eleanor Murphy. Murphy sends it out to Anna Cressman. Now sending it out to Jane Feeney. Feeney's got 2 scores already today. Feeney running towards the middle. Nowhere to go. She flips it over to Vogel. Vogel starting to make her approach, but hits traffic. Flips it over to Catherine Fernandopol. Fernandopol making an approach, and she runs out of room. Fernandopol has it taken away. Picking her pocket was number 21, Paige Long. Long now running with it across midfield. And into the attack zone she goes. Taking it herself, and she swings a pass over to Allison Hoyt. Hoyt, one of the 4 goal scorers already. She passes to Pearsall, and Pearsall scores! Nice coordination from behind the net. A great pass from Allison Hoyt. She finds Juliet Pearsall. Out of the 3 periods we've had so far today, this is the first time that Tabor has struck first. It'll be Vogel and Glantz taking the draw once again. Up in the air it goes, and it's controlled for a second by Vogel, and again a second by Vogel, but then it's controlled by Glantz. Glantz runs it into the attack zone. Starts her approach, hits traffic, flips a quick pass over, and the shot goes in. Another quick score, this time by Madeline Ocampo. Her second goal of the day. Tabor Academy coming out like they've been shot out of a cannon. 2 goals within the first minute and a half of play. One forced turnover by the defense turned into a quick transition goal. And then a 1 draw control turns into a quick transition goal. Tabor Academy exposing a slight weakness in the Milton Academy defense here, which is when you come at them fast, when you're coming at them on the run and in transition, you start to leave some holes in the defense. This draw control is knocked down by Feeney, being chased down, and she scoops it up. Jane Feeney controls the draw this time and runs it into the attack zone. She flips it over to Vogel. Vogel then a couple passes, and now it's with Caroline Curtis. Now back to Eliza Dunn. Dunn making her approach, crosses over, shot, and saved by Julia Rude. Rebound controlled by Jane Feeney, a little physical there, but she keeps the possession with her team. Flipped over to Murphy, and now over to Cressman, now to Dunn. Dunn making the approach again, taking the shot herself, deflected and sent over the net and out of bounds. Murphy passes it over to Emily Cunahan. Cunahan with 1 goal so far today. Murphy now moving around the back of the net, and she scores! Eleanor Murphy, her first goal of the day. (12-6), now the tally. Eleanor Murphy becomes the 7th different goal scorer for Milton Academy, as we've got a whistle on the initial attempted draw control. Once again, it is Vogel and Glantz. And it looks like we're going to have a bit of a discussion amongst the officials. And yes, it was Josephine Vogel versus Lily Glantz on the draw. They blew the whistle at some point, and now the officials are conferring. 10 minutes, 2 seconds left here in the third quarter, and they're just going to award it to Milton Academy. Whatever that was, the possession now goes to the Mustangs. Josephine Vogel will be starting with the ball. Slowly making her approach. She's got some space to work, passes it ahead to Anna Cressman. Cressman surveys and passes it over to Feeney. Jane Feeney over to Vogel. Vogel juggles it, but corrals it, not in a dangerous spot. Vogel makes her approach and off the bar! That was almost goal number 4 for Josephine Vogel. Instead, they're going to have to chase down the rebound. Cressman wins the chase and now passes it over to Feeney. Feeney looking around, loses control of the ball. It's scooped up into the air, and it looks like it's going to be controlled by Tabor Academy. We've got a whistle blown. I'm not entirely sure why, but it looks like some kind of an infraction against the Seawolves. So the Mustangs will take over deep in the offensive end. After one sloppy turnover begets another. Murphy passes it over to Cunahan. Emily Cunahan charging against Sadie Stiles. Fakes her way in, runs out of room, and passes it over to Murphy. Murphy sends it out to Eliza Dunn. Dunn with 3 goals already, starts to make her approach, spins around, weaves her way through, and scores! Eliza Dunn, so effective off of those isolation plays. And she is now the leading scorer on the Mustangs. After Josephine Vogel failed to tally her 4th goal, missing off the left post, it was Eliza Dunn who buried her 4th goal instead. 13-6, Milton Academy leads with 8 minutes and 20 seconds left in the period. And it looks like it's going to be Catherine Fernandopol taking the draw against Allison Hoyt. The first draw not taken by either Josephine Vogel or Jane Feeney. This one goes up in the air. It's chased. It's deflected. Scrum for the loose ball. It's picked up by Pearsall. Pearsall passes it back over to Glantz. Glantz moves into the attack zone. Glantz surveys, passes ahead to Hoyt. Hoyt looking around, trying to work her way through. Runs out of room. And being pushed by Corey Miller until she gets out of bounds, but they're going to blow the whistle. Hoyt now bringing the ball out of the free position. She runs along the back, tries a pass, intercepted by Haley Englert. Englert now running with it. She's into the middle zone, across midfield. Throws the pass ahead. She finds Cunahan. Cunahan bringing it into the attack. Flips it over to Cressman. Cressman, pass is deflected. Recovered by Dunn, and now Dunn's going to make her approach, and that's goal number 5. Great defensive effort by Haley Englert, got that one going. And then some nice ball movement. A great rush into the attack zone by Emily Cunahan. It seemed like she might have had Cressman open for a shot in transition, but she decided against rushing it. And then after Cressman's pass was deflected, Dunn did a great job picking up the loose ball and making another one of her charges to the net. She's been so effective with those so far today. 5 goals for the senior attacker from Hingham, Massachusetts. 14-6, Milton Academy leads Tabor Academy. 7 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock here in the third quarter. And we got a whistle for an infraction on the draw. It's Lily Glantz from Tabor Academy, and I think we got a new player from Milton Academy taking the draw. Up in the air it goes, and it's going to be recovered by that new draw taker, Caroline Curtis. Curtis has 1 goal already today, flips a pass looking for Cunahan, but misses completely, and that's going to be turned over. Cunahan wasn't ready for that one, and so Tabor takes over. This is Lily Glantz with the ball. Glantz passes it back to Sadie Stiles. Stiles flips it over to Long. Long sends it ahead to Glantz. Skips off the turf, but collected easily. Glantz passes it back. That's Ava Jadul. Jadul with 1 goal so far today. And she gets swarmed by the defense, but draws a whistle. That was Catherine Fernandopol and Ava Russell on the defense. But now Jadul is going to take off running. She's got a bit of an opening. Runs out of room, though, and has to retreat to behind the net. Flips it over to Hoyt. Hoyt's got 1 goal as well. Passes for Pearsall, and off the bar. She does not get the hat trick. Recovered, shot wide, missed by number 2, Catherine Marvel. No one back there for the rebound that time, and so it will be taken over by the Mustangs. This is Kaylee Brousseau. Throwing a long pass into space, and Curtis jumps in front of it to make sure it's not a turnover. And Curtis now running with it into the attack zone. She's got some room to run. She's going to keep approaching, takes the shot, and that's goal number 2 for Curtis. Caroline Curtis, the freshman midi from Winchester, Massachusetts, now with her 2nd goal of the day. And Milton Academy has a 15-6 lead. A heads-up play on the pass from Brousseau to Curtis. It seemed like Brousseau just sort of threw it into random space, but Curtis made it look like a good pass, jumped in front of the Tabor player, take control of it and then just took it the rest of the way herself. Now on the draw, it is being battled for, scooped up for a second by Pearsall, kept loose, but then picked up by Tabor's number 6 and passed ahead to 17. That was Newhook throwing it ahead to Resendez. Resendez, quick pass. I think that's Ocampo. It is Madeline Ocampo. Ocampo trying to weave her way through. Takes the shot. Saved by Brousseau. Brousseau, her first save of the day. And she flips the pass over to Lily Stoller, who then passes it for Feeney. Juggled but recovered. Feeney now running. She's got some space to work. Passes it to Dunn. Dunn's got a bit of a lane. Has to get around one player. She does. Weaves through another. Shot well deflected. That was number 10, Maggie O'Gannon, the last line of defense for the Seawolves. And now Paige Long running with it after the deflected shot. Sends a pass into space, but nobody was ready for it, and it's scooped up in transition by number 16, Corey Miller. She passes it ahead to Dunn. Eliza Dunn with 5 goals already today. As she runs around back and flips it over to, I believe, Cunahan. Cunahan sends it back to Dunn. What a day Eliza Dunn is having. A team leading 6 goals as she flips it over to Josephine Vogel, who's got 3 goals herself. Vogel fakes a couple of times, comes around, takes the shot. That's goal number 4. Vogel patiently waited to make her move. A nice couple of fakes to keep her defender off balance. And then a clean finish there for her 4th goal of the day. Vogel returns to the draw circle against Allison Hoyt. Draws up in the air, and it's recovered. That's Eleanor Rain. Rain running it into the attack zone. Hits traffic and flips it back to Vogel. Vogel surveying. Sends a pass over to Feeney, juggled but recovered. Jane Feeney with 2 goals in the first half. And she surveys along the left side. Starts to make her approach. Gets around her defender, charges in, and scores easily. That's the hat trick for Jane Feeney. Another great isolation setup by Milton Academy. They've done a very good job setting up their attackers into those kind of one-on-one positions, and they have the athleticism to weave their way around a defender and get that clear path to the net. And the thing is, they've got so many players that can operate out of those isolation plays, whether it's Eliza Dunn, Josephine Vogel, Jane Feeney, even Catherine Fernandopol as well. Just several players that you can't leave on an island, otherwise they're going to bury it. And it showed there. Goal number 3 for Feeney as the draw goes back to Eleanor Rain once again. Rain running with it into the attack zone. It looks like she might take it herself. She's got a bit of a path, but can't get through. Well defended, and her pass misses. Her shot rather misses wide. Cunahan will get it around back though. 17-6, the Milton Academy lead as it's passed over to Eleanor Murphy. Murphy with 1 goal so far. Her pass is juggled by Rain. It's being contested by Hoyt, but it's picked up by Murphy. Murphy with 1 goal already today. Passes it over to Vogel, who's got 4. Now pass to Feeney, and Feeney almost buried her 4th low, but just turned away by Julia Rude. Ava Russell passes it out to Vogel. Vogel operating out of the right corner. Looking for her options. She starts her charge. Comes in. Ball's knocked loose, but Vogel recovers. Now coming around back. Trying to sneak her way in. Over the back shot. Did not go. Trying to get fancy there for her 5th goal, but it's recovered by Cunahan and passed over to Murphy. Murphy surveying her options. She comes out of the back. Still looking around. Sends a pass over to Vogel. Vogel is going to try and charge in. Fakes out one defender. And she tries the over-the-shoulder shot again. It bounced in, but we got a whistle. Of all the goals to take back because of a whistle, it had to be that fanciness. Vogel really wants that backwards over-the-shoulder shot. She wants it so bad, but instead she's going to get it out of the free position. Charge in and be deflected as the shot goes over the top. Thanks to a defensive deflection. Emily Cunahan keeps control of it, passes it over to Russell. Ava Russell coming out the back. Her attempted pass is smothered. Loose ball picked up by Feeney, and Feeney retreats back to reset the play. Feeney moving towards the middle, being defended by Long. She fakes out Long, charges in, weaves through a couple of defenders, and draws another whistle. Jane Feeney with 3 goals already. Can she make it 4 out of the free position? Charges in, takes the shot, and she buries it. Goal number 5 for Jane Feeney. That'll make it 18-6 as we close out the final seconds of the third period. We are through 3 periods here at Barrelson Field at Milton Academy in Milton, Massachusetts. Milton Academy has already matched their highest scoring total of the season with 18 and still 1 period left to play. They are simply running away with this one. The score 18-6. Leading the way with 6 goals, the senior attacker from Hingham, Massachusetts, Eliza Dunn. Following behind her with 4 goals apiece, the senior midi from Chestnut Hill, Josephine Vogel, and the junior midi from Milton, Massachusetts, Jane Feeney. I believe the rest are all 1 goal apiece, scored by Eleanor Murphy. Oh no, Caroline Curtis, the freshman midi from Winchester, Massachusetts, also has 2. So we got 6, 4, 4, and 2, accounting for 16 of the 18 goals, and then, okay, I've got to be miscounting here. Yeah, I'm definitely miscounting. I've either got 1 goal too many or 1 goal not enough, because I think by my count I have 19 goals, but I must be miscounting because I have 1 each for Eleanor Murphy and Catherine Fernandopol. I have 2 for Caroline Curtis. I also have 1 for Emily Cunahan. So yeah, I have 1 each for Murphy, Cunahan, and Fernandopol, so that's 3. 2 for Curtis would make 5. 4 each for Vogel and Feeney makes 13. And so I think Eliza Dunn actually only has 5. I don't think she's buried the 6th one yet. Maybe I lost count. Clearly I've lost count somewhere. It's 18 goals. It's a lot to keep track of while also operating the camera and giving play-by-play. So doing my best here to keep track as I spend the entire between periods break trying to keep track of the scores. As they head back out for the final period of regulation. For the Tabor Seawolves, they have 1 goal from Ava Jadul and 1 goal from Allison Hoyt. And I believe 2 goals each for Juliet Pearsall and Madeline Ocampo. So those account for the 6 goals for the Seawolves. And my best attempt at accounting for the 18 goals scored in this offensive frenzy by the Mustangs. We start the 4th quarter with a score of 18-6. And now the ultimate question. can Milton Academy reach a new highest goal total for the season? Because they've already matched it with 18 goals. 12 minutes and 30 seconds left in regulation. The draw is knocked down and controlled by Vogel. Josephine Vogel, 4 goals already today. And she flips it over to what looks like Grace Panaris. Panaris making her approach, hits traffic, well defended by Donley, and flips a dangerous pass that is going to be intercepted. And is that the former goalie? That's the starting goalie. That is number 26. With the long pass ahead, she finds Ocampo. Ocampo with a 3-on-1 situation, takes the shot. It's turned away, deflected by Lily Stoller. Stoller, a great job as the last line of defense after indeed receiving the pass from the starting goalie, Skylar Irving. Now Kaylee Brousseau with a long, dangerous pass. It's juggled, but recovered. That's Caroline Baldwin running with the ball. Baldwin brings it into the attack zone herself and sends a long pass to the corner over to Panaris. Panaris running with it. Flips a pass over to number 28, Jordan Stukin. Stukin controlling the ball. Surveying. Starting her charge. Gets around one defender, but not well enough. But she does get around well enough. There's the goal. Jordan Stukin, the freshman midi from Boston, Massachusetts, gives Milton Academy their highest goal total of the season. 19-6 now the score in favor of the Mustangs. It seemed like Tabor had her sealed off as her original defender was pushing her pretty well and the help defense was starting to move over, but Stukin found a way to get the shot off clean and bury her first goal of the day. The draw is taken, and it's knocked down. A loose ball scooped up by Vogel. How effective has she been on the draws so far today? Matching up against Irving, the starting goalie. She flips it over to Eliza Dunn, who's got at least 5 goals today. I'm losing track. She flips it over to Stukin, who just scored. Now over to Taya Chung. Chung making her approach. Ball is knocked loose. Scooped up for a second by Tabor, but then contested and taken by Eliza Dunn. Passed over to Vogel. Vogel gets around her defender, starts to charge in, keeps charging, finally has it knocked away, but she recovers it herself and passes it back outside to Dunn. Dunn starts to approach, pulls back, now operating out of the point. She flips it over to Grace Panaris. Panaris starting her approach, trying to get around Donley. Help defense arrives and she flips it over to Chung. Chung sends it over to Dunn. Dunn pulling back, surveying. Deciding how she's going to approach this. It looks like they're setting up for a pick. They don't go with the pick. And she flips it over to Vogel, and Vogel's got a bit of a path. And she has the ball knocked loose again. Loose ball being chased after by a number of players. It's picked up for a second by Glantz, but not cleanly. And it's scooped up for a second by Stukin, but not cleanly. And now it's Paige Long with the ball. She has it knocked away, but this time draws the whistle. Paige Long now, after the whistle, weaving her way through. Loses the ball for a second, but it recovers and passes it ahead to Skylar Irving. Irving now making her charge. Takes the shot, draws the whistle as it's deflected wide. I think Caroline Baldwin took that ball off her hip as she deflected the shot out, and ultimately the shot didn't even count. And wait, did they call the foul on Irving? Okay, no, they did call the foul on Milton Academy, and Irving's coming back out. That was a bit of confusion there for a second. And now Glantz approaching from the corner, trying to force her way through. Gets swarmed by the defense, and it's taken away. This is Vogel. Needed to pass out of that one, but didn't pass out of it. The pass for Dunn is juggled, chased down, and scooped up. So Dunn got it cleanly into the attack zone, operating along the back of the net. She sends it over to Panarese in the corner. Panarese sends it out to the wing. That is number 4, Emily Baldwin, who now passes it over to Stukin. Back to Baldwin, and we've got a whistle. Okay, looks like there was some confusion. Based on what I heard, there was some confusion around the penalty that was called down at the other end. It seems like they called offsetting penalties, which is why Tabor didn't get a free position, you know, in front of the net or anything like that. But apparently a yellow card was assessed to Skylar Irving. And so she's going to have to sit for 2 minutes. So Milton with the man-up advantage for 2 minutes as they're passing it around the back, surveying where to go. The ball is with Ava Russell, now over to Jane Feeney. Feeney sends it over to Emily Baldwin, now over to Taya Chung. And around the cycle they go. Now the ball with Grace Panarese behind the net. Trying to work her way out, passes it back to Emily Baldwin, over to Feeney. Feeney to Russell. Russell to Eliza Dunn in the corner. Milton taking their time. Now passed over to Feeney. Feeney's got 4 goals already today. Passed over to Jordan Stukin. Stukin passes it inside, but the pass is juggled by Panarese. That might have been a good chance there, but instead the loose ball is picked up by Jane Feeney. Feeney passes it over to Stukin. Stukin looking around, passes it over to Dunn. Now over to Panarese. Panarese swings it over. We got an approach. We've got a shot, and we've got a score. That's Taya Chung. Chung, her first goal of the day. The senior attacker from right here in town in Milton, Massachusetts. 20-6. As we've got a running clock, less than 5.5 minutes left to play, and the penalty clock, of course, keeps running as well. It'll be Jane Feeney against Lily Glantz here in the draw circle. Up in the air it goes, deflected. No one's electing it cleanly yet. And ultimately taken by Feeney. Feeney flips a pass for Eleanor Rain. It's juggled but recovered. Rain moving it into the attack zone. Sends a pass over to Ava Russell. Russell sends it behind the net to Dunn. Flipped over to Panarese. And now sent over to Taya Chung, who just got the last goal. Behind the net again to Eliza Dunn. Now over to Russell. Now over to number 2, Sarah Maciel. Now over to 13, Audrey Howley. Now flipped over to Rain. Rain making her approach. It's knocked away from her stick, though, and recovered by the goalie, Julia Rude. Just over 4 minutes left in regulation here. And I'm not expecting overtime with this score. Milton Academy, a handy lead over Tabor, 20-6. A long pass goes ahead and hits Skylar Irving. Irving's got some room to run. She's on a breakaway, heading right for the net, takes the shot and scores. The starting goalie, Skylar Irving, who had to serve the 2-minute penalty a second ago. And the team plenty happy about that. Irving, a senior playing in her last season of high school lacrosse, and she's probably spent much of that high school career in the net. So getting a chance to score a goal in your last season, certainly a nice moment there, and you could tell how much her teammates were happy for her. As we now get ready for another draw. Up in the air it goes. It's collected out of the air by Maciel. Sarah Maciel running with it. Sends a pass that just misses Howley. And Chung trying to get after it. Being pursued by Jadul. Still being pursued. It's still a loose ball. And Chung eventually picks it up clean. Passes along the back over to Eliza Dunn. Dunn the leading scorer with 5 goals thus far. Possibly 6. I've been doing my best trying to keep track of all 20 goals. Passed along the back to Grace Panaris. Passed back out to Maciel. Maciel passes inside looking for Howley, but contested and recovered by Julia Rude. Pop-up pass aimed at Irving, but intercepted by Maciel. Maciel now making her approach. Sends a low pass over to Panaris, who's being harassed by her defender. It's knocked loose and picked up by Lily Glantz. Passed ahead to Irving. Irving now floats a pass. Long and intended for number 10. It's contested but scooped up by number 10, Maggie O'Gannon. O'Gannon draws the whistle from her defender, Zoe Garrett. O'Gannon being well defended right out of the free position. It's knocked out of bounds and goes right back to Tabor Academy. O'Gannon now takes off quickly, running along the sideline, runs into her defender, and we got another whistle. O'Gannon tries to flip it back to Irving, but it's deflected by Garrett, being chased along the sideline, recovered by Irving. Being harassed by a couple of defenders along the near side, passes it over to Paige Long. Long running it into the attack zone, being aggressively defended by Maciel and Howley, and one more player coming over to help. Lily Glantz picked up the loose ball for a second, but lost it. It was picked up by Emma Hu. Passed over to number 6, who charges, runs into traffic, and retreats. That's Abigail Newhook. And now off the free position, the shot by Newhook is missed over the top and recovered by Lily Stoller. Stoller passes it ahead, finds her teammate. I believe that's Caroline Baldwin, who passed it ahead to Taya Chung. Chung now running with it. She's got 1 goal this period already, and we've only got 5 seconds left. How the time flies as she passes it over. And one last shot missed wide by Emily Baldwin. And that's going to do it. The Milton Academy Mustangs run away with this one. Your final score, Milton Academy 20, Tabor Academy 7. An outstanding effort on both sides of the ball by Milton Academy. They surpassed their previous season best for goals scored, finishing with 20 on this outing. And for the 7th time out of 9 games so far this season, they hold their opponents to single digits on the scoreboard. Looking over the goal scorers, we'll start with the Tabor Seawolves, who suffered the loss and tally 7 goals. They had 2 goals apiece from Juliet Pearsall and Madeline Ocampo, and then they had 1 apiece from Ava Jadul and Allison Hoyt and the original starting goalie, Skylar Irving. For Milton Academy, I'm going to try my best here. That was a lot of goals, but they had the 1-goal scorers. The 1-goal scorers were Eleanor Murphy, Emily Coonahan, Catherine Fernandopol, Taya Chung, and Jordan Stukin. 2 goals were scored by Caroline Curtis. 4 goals were scored by both Josephine Vogel and Jane Feeney. And then Eliza Dunn, the leading scorer with, I want to say 5 goals. I think that math adds up. I might have gotten confused and thought Dunn got to 6. But I believe she finishes either way with the team lead, and either way a very impressive scoring outing. And of course an impressive outing from both Vogel and Feeney on the draw controls as well. So 20-7, the final score wraps things up here. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan on behalf of Milton Academy. It's been my privilege to bring you this Independent School League high school girls lacrosse game. If you like our broadcasts, you want to stay up to date on them, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to show us how much you're enjoying these videos, make sure to hit that like button as well. So for the last time today from Barrelson Field at Milton Academy, I'm Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan signing off. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, everybody.